I'm talking with Claire Torrey at Bluff Creek Elementary School, fourth grade teacher, who spent a lot of time with Reader's Workshop, and we're talking today about book clubs. Claire, what can you tell us about how these are utilized in a literacy block?
I tend to use book clubs as a break from Reader's Workshop as kids are getting as the feeling of choosing their own books and the feeling of, oh my gosh, this is so cool that I get to do this, sort of wanes a little bit. And so I tend to do them for 2 or 3 week chunks. The kids still get to choose which book they read, but I'll give them a selection of 4 or 5. They're strategically selected by me. I try to do them as genre studies, so I'll have a selection of realistic fiction that they will choose from, or a selection of historical fiction that they will choose from. Whatever I see that the kids aren't choosing in their own independent reading time, I choose that sort of genre to help expose them to something new. Again, I let the kids choose which of the books, but I have 4 or 5 selections from them for them to choose from, and I have them list their top 3 or 4 that they would be interested in reading from that selection, so then I can be very strategic as to who works with whom as well. What I do during the introduction of a book club then is, as all the kids are working on different things, all the kids are working on different books, but they then can work together. I use a trick called sticks to make sure that every kid has a chance to talk when they're doing their group discussions. And how sticks works is that every child gets 5 tongue depressors, and every time they want to make a comment on whatever it is that their reading assignment was for that week, or for that day, I mean, they would put their tongue depressor in the center, and if they run out of tongue depressors before somebody else does, they have to stay silent till everybody has had a chance to talk. That takes care of the idea of kids dominating a conversation and not letting other kids have a chance. They have writing that they have to do in response to what they read each day. I have a list of general questions that I'll give for certain groups, and then for other groups I'll target the questions specifically for the novel that they're reading, depending on the level of the kids, depending on their diligence, depending on what the kids are capable of producing on their own. Because we start so late in them, I try to do 3 book clubs a year. This year it's only going to be 2. To give the kids more of a chance to get into the Reader's Workshop method, because these are kids who haven't experienced it before. But by the time we get into book clubs, they are usually capable of writing in complete sentences. They are capable of responding to a text verbally with me, and then I try to also get them, when I'm conferring, to set goals of also writing their responses. So once I know they're capable of doing that, that's when we start with our book clubs.
So during that 2 to 3 week period, is the entire literacy block time devoted to book clubs, or are you still doing a whole group strategy lesson before you kick off into those areas?
It really depends on what's going on with the group at the time. Normally I will have a whole group lesson, or I will make sure that I see each of the individual small groups in the day so that they're still receiving some instruction. I always kick the entire book club series off with a whole group lesson on what the genre is and how you can tell the characteristics of that genre. I will also do several whole group lessons throughout as we talk about how to answer complete sentences, what different questions you would be asking, and how to ask good questions with each other when you're responding to the literature. With 80 minutes, it's too long of a reader's block for them to do the same thing for the entire hour. I need to break it up.
So then during that time, are you aligning your learning targets, your student-friendly learning targets with standards that are attached to pieces that they would glean from working in a book club?
Exactly. So our learning targets would be how to communicate effectively with others, how to write a written response to literature, how, those sorts of things that they're going to be doing, those are where I can pull those standards from.
Thank you, Claire.
Mm-hmm.